Hey guys, Second Lieutenant Brian Sells here. Commander Tim, Captain Tim Wynn, he asked me to do some small instructional videos for our cadets for our Facebook page for the squadron. So I'm going to start with a basic, getting a fire going. We live in the Smoky Mountains, and as you can tell, it's rained for weeks here. Today's the second day of sun we've had in a couple weeks. I want to talk about Fatwood. If you're in the Smokies, there are pine trees near you, and there are probably pine trees on the ground. This is a good source for really flammable fire building material. All it takes, if you'll find a tree down, everywhere there's a limb that comes out, you can chop those out like we've done here. We took 2 out. We got another big one here we're going to get out. But it's called Fatwood, fat lighter, pitchwood. And what you're looking for is in this core. Can you see that on camera? Can you tell?
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
It's real waxy looking. Well, what I'll do is I'll take this back to camp, take my axe and chunk this
right
down.
in here, right there.
Yeah, this is just pine sap that congregates inside the knots, and you can take a knife, make some shavings. You can make a little dust by scraping it, and one or two hits with a ferro rod and it will ignite right up. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take these back to the camp, process them down a little bit, show you what I'm talking about, and show you how easy it is to get a fire going with this. And this will work even when it's raining. I've done it. So bear with me, I'll be back in just a second. All right, so back at camp, what we're gonna try to do, if you can see that little core in there, it's real small and orange. This little section right in there, that's where the Fatwood is. I usually just take my little camp axe and I'll start knocking the sides off. And once I get it to where I can kind of lay it flat, I'll lay it down and split it. It's a little tough, but this right here is what I'm going for. And I'll just take this axe and I bust these chunks off. And then once we get a bunch together, a bunch of these small pieces, this is how I process it down. The stuff I bust off the side, away from the thicker Fatwood, keep over here, still good kindling. These are some of the bigger chunks. And what I'll do, I'll take one of these, cut a few curls like this. This is some that we carved up last night getting ready for today. But you can also take, if your knife has a spine, 90-degree spine, you can scrape it with the back. This knife in here doesn't have a 90-degree spine. I'll use my blade, and all I do is I put the blade directly against it and I just scrape it. This makes a really super flammable dust. And if you're out on a mission or anywhere, you need a fire, and even if it's raining, if you can get something over your head, a small tarp, just enough to keep your rain off of you, and you work this stuff up like this, it will catch fire. I'm going to show you how easy it is. Find my ferro rod. If you don't have a ferro rod, I highly suggest adding one to your pack. I'm going to show you here. I'll come over here where you can see me a little better. Usually we'll take a few of these. I always try to have plenty of this stuff on hand ready to go for when that lights, because this stuff does burn hot and it burns fast. So I'll have everything ready. Start out with a little bit of the dust. I lay my ferro rod down on it. and I'll take and scrape a few little shavings down on it. Once that catches, start feeding some of these in. This is what I mean, this stuff will burn even if it's wet outside. And every pine tree down has it. I've got hundreds of trees down out here on my property, and I can go out here and haul truckloads of this fatwood off. This stuff is super flammable. I'll show you here. You don't even have to really shave it down. If you've got flame, it'll ignite and burn. And the stuff burns so hot that even if your regular firewood is just a little bit wet or damp, this will burn enough of this, and it'll burn hot enough to dry it out and get your fire going. We got our fire started last night with it, and like I said, it's been raining for a couple weeks. Everything is soaping, soggy, wet, and we went out, got us a few sticks of fatwood, and had a fire going in just a few minutes. But it's a good resource, especially here in the Smokies. There are pine trees everywhere. So that's that one. If you need fire in damp conditions, this stuff is a good thing. You can also get, if you can find pine sap's super flammable. You can take a lighter and light it, and a nice little chunk of it will burn for several minutes, plenty long enough to get a fire going. You can see how hot that is. That would easily ignite wet tinder, wet kindling, anything. But I'm gonna try to do a few more of these videos for you guys, for the cadets. So stay tuned. I'll see you guys on the next one.